Welcome to Lesson 7 of the Kodu Game Lab tutorial series. In this lesson we will look at creatables and we'll also look at timers. Let's begin. So to begin with, I'm going to start a new world and I'm going to create a world which has a creatable character on, i.e. one that comes on after a certain period of time or one that comes on after something is bumped. So let's start off by making this world a little bit bigger again, just to give us some more room to play with. And let's add our playable character. So again, I'm going to add a cycle, and on this cycle I'm simply going to programming to move. So keyboard, WSD keys, and move. And in this instance, for this little game, I want to make him move a bit quicker, so I will select move quickly. Now, what we want to do when we're creating a creatable is we want it to be created by something, by another object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click on the ground, and what I'm going to create in this tutorial is simply an apple. So I'm going to add the apple to the ground. For the purposes of making it easier to see, I'm just going to change its size and make a gigantic apple. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to change its settings. So in change settings, I'm going to scroll down until I find the option Creatable. I now select this and make sure that it's highlighted. Now let's just see what this has done. If I play the game, you'll notice that the apple is not there. It's disappeared. So what we need is an object to be able to create the apple when we want it creating. Let's have a look at how we can do that now. I'm going to select the object tool, left click on the ground, and I'm actually going to use a flying saucer for this one because I can have the flying saucer up high above the ground and it will drop the apples onto the ground. You can feel free to use any object that you like, but just be aware that sometimes the apples can spawn on top of each other. So I've selected my saucer. You can see it's quite high up, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to program this to create the apple. So I right click on the saucer, I'm going to go to program, and what I'm going to use here is a timer so that it says every 5 seconds it creates an apple. So if I use the when key and I select the option timer, I now have to select how many seconds I want the timer to count for. So I'm going to select 5 seconds on this one so that I can be very precise. I'm now going to select do, and I'm going to go to actions, and you'll see in actions there's an option called create. When I select this and I select the plus key, you'll see that in the top corner there is something called Creatables. Please note, if you've not already made an object and turned it into a creatable object, this menu will not appear. So if I click on this, you can see that there is my apple which I am able to create at any point in time. So I select that, and that is the coding for this so far. Let's try it. So I play, if we count 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now there's my big apple up, and it drops down from the ground, so I can go and run into apple, and roll it around. So as fun as it is to bump apples and roll them all over the world, we also need to do a few more things, which we'll have a look at in video 2. Join me then.